everybody, my name is Kara, and today I'm here with another kind of like chatty reading update, reading plans video. Basically over the next few weeks or months, there are some more readathons that I'm really excited about that I think are really important. I know like reading plans or like TBR videos are not everyone's thing, but I just wanted to make this because I'm really excited about all of these readathons, and maybe you hadn't heard of some of them that are going on yet. I know that sometimes I find out about something really last minute, so I don't know, maybe you'll join in, but either way, I'm just really excited to talk about some books that I'm going to be reading. And of course, I will link all of the information about the hosts and the readathons in the description box. So I'm going to start with the Muslim readathon because that one is currently going on, and it runs for the entire month of Ramadan, so May 6th to June 4th. And you don't have to be Muslim to participate in this. It's just about celebrating books by Muslim authors, and I think that is so wonderful. The challenges are set up. You choose one of the pillars of Islam and you go up, and as you achieve each challenge, you move on to the next one. I am going to be attempting to complete the pillar known as Hajj or pilgrimage. And as you'll see as I talk about what I'm planning to read for these various like readathons or reading challenges, you'll see that I'm doubling up and achieving some other reading goals that I had set for the year. The first challenge is adult fiction, and I'm going to be reading The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I'm finally going to be getting to this book. I have a feeling I'm going to really enjoy this, and I think we follow two main characters, and one of them is a girl who's, I think she's a thief or a con artist or something, and she doesn't believe in jinn. She just kind of fakes it so that she can scam people out of their money. And then one day she accidentally summons a real jinn. So that just sounds so cool. I'm pretty sure he is the other perspective we follow. The next prompt is a non-Western setting, and for that one I'm going to be reading The Candle and the Flame by Nafisa Assad. I think it's like a Silk Road setting, like fantasy, so not a Western setting, and I think that the blurb talked about kind of being at the crossroads of different cultures and different beliefs, and just everything about it really appealed to me. But again, I kind of want to go into this one not knowing too much about the plot itself. The third space is no romance, and for that one I'm reading a nonfiction, which I think still counts. I don't know if this is exactly what they meant for the challenge, but I'm counting it, and that is I Am Malala by Malala Yousafzai with Christina Lamb. So this is a nonfiction book about her life, about how she was shot by the Taliban, and how after that she became one of the prevailing voices of the women's education movement. I just admire Malala Yousafzai so much. She's an incredible woman, and I still haven't read this book, and I really want to. So I'm gonna make that happen now. And this was actually chosen for me by my friend Trisha from my like BookTube friends choose my TBR video. She picked this one for me. She absolutely loved it, and she thought I would love it, and I think she's right. I'm really looking forward to getting to this. The fourth challenge involves a journey, and for that one I'm going to be reading The Bird King by G. Willow Wilson. This is another one I'm like not 100% sure on the plot. And our main character, her best friend is a map maker, and I think he has magic powers, and for that reason they have to flee the palace to go to another country or something. This is like not a very helpful synopsis, but I remember being really excited about the synopsis for this one. I think this book might also have queer representation, but I'm not 100% sure. And the fifth challenge in that pillar is free space, and for that one I'm going to be getting to Love from A to Z by S.K. Ali. She wrote Saints and Misfits, which was one of my favorite books of last year, and I have been so excited about this new release of hers. And this is basically a rom-com, I think, between two Muslim teenagers. There's also a lot of depth there, a lot of exploration of family and culture and belief. I saw Books Are My Social Life just raving about this book, and it made me even more excited for it, so I'm looking forward to that. And then switching gears a little bit, the Disney read-along runs from May 19th through the 25th, I think, and when I saw the theme and the challenges and everything, I just knew I had to participate. So I'm also doing that one, the plan is, and I'm pretty proud of myself because I've managed to cover like most of the challenges with one or two books, so I'm pretty excited about that. So one of the ones I'm reading that covers, I think, almost all of the challenges is The Missing of Claire de Lune by Christelle Dabot, translation by Hildegard Searle. And I actually received this from the publisher in exchange for an honest review. I did a review on the first book last year, which I really enjoyed, so I will link that if you haven't seen it, but I'm so excited for this one. This is a beast of a book, which is a challenge that it's counting for. There's also black and white on the cover, which is another challenge, and I think magical powers is the other one that this counts for. But this is a really unique and clever fantasy series, and especially with the way some of the things that happened at the end of the last book, I am so excited for this continuation, so I'm really looking forward to getting to that. I also want to get to The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. My friend Aoife actually picked this as part of that like choose my TBR video, and I'm like kind of nervous about this one. I know a lot of people love it, but I'm realizing more and more that my tastes in science fiction are like very specific, and I think I'm gonna like this, but I'm not confident. I've heard that this is more of a character-driven, like quieter sci-fi, which is something that I do tend to enjoy. This covers the one for set in the future. This is actually a lot longer than I thought it was, which makes me a little nervous, but we'll see. Then the last challenge is to read the original Rapunzel fairy tale and then watch the adaptation Tangled, which is one of my favorite Disney movies. So I'm so excited to have an excuse to watch that again. And I actually wasn't planning on trying to do this challenge until I realized that I actually do have a like Grimm's Fairy Tales collection with illustrations by Arthur Rackham, who is one of my favorite illustrators. I just really enjoy the way that he draws fairy tales and fairy characters especially, so I am going to try and get to that. And then the last readathon that I'm going to talk about today is the Queer Lit Readathon, which runs from June 2nd through June 8th. And the challenges for this one are set up like a bingo board, but you definitely don't have to achieve bingo in order to participate. It's just kind of a fun way to kind of plan your reading if you would like to do that. And I kind of just picked a bunch of things that fit challenges, and I didn't really pay attention to if I'm going to get bingo. I probably will, but who knows? And another thing is that the hosts really want to encourage people who are participating in the Queer Lit Readathon, like we're doing TBRs or wrap-ups or any kind of videos focused on the readathon. They really want to encourage people to add closed captions and to make it more accessible, and I think that's such a wonderful thing to encourage, so definitely keep that in mind if you are planning to participate. Okay, wait, hair fixing break. Sorry. Okay, the first one is the Zodiac Star Force by the Power of Astra graphic novel, and this is by Kevin Panetta and Paulina Ganucheau, I think. And this is just so beautiful. Like, the art of this just looks stunning. It's so brilliant and bright, and I've heard really good things about this graphic novel, and the challenges this one covers, it covers a lot of them, is rainbow cover, graphic novel, and new author, because I haven't read anything from these two creators before. And I'm also going to count it for the blank space challenge, which is you come up with your own challenge and talk about what it is. And I created the challenge to like read a queer book that you think is going to be really like positive, like really bubbly and happy, because I think it's definitely very important to cover more heavy and serious topics. But I mentioned this in a recent wrap up, that sometimes it's nice to have stories about queer characters or about coming out or things like that where things don't go badly, you know? I think that's also really important for kids and for other people to read. And this one I think is definitely going to be really like positive and cute and fluffy. And I have heard that there is a female-female romance in this. I don't know which characters. I don't even know too much about the story, except that they're superheroes, and I think they get their power from the Zodiac. And this sounds like a lot of fun. And I'm also counting this for sci-fi or fantasy. Next is Teen Trailblazers by Jennifer Calvert, illustrated by Vesna Asanovic. And this counts for nonfiction and for middle grade, because I'm pretty sure this is a nonfiction book that is geared towards younger readers. And this is 30 Fearless Girls Who Changed the World Before They Were 20. And I don't know all of the figures that they cover in this book, but I know that at least a couple of them are in the LGBT plus community. I love this trend for feminist nonfiction that we're seeing that is like continuing to go on, and especially that makes it accessible to younger readers. I think that is so important, and I'm really excited to get to this. Next is one that I'm not 100% sure about if this fits or not, but I'm kind of guessing based on the synopsis, and that is Shadowplay by Joseph O'Connor. This is actually an arc that my wonderful friend Matthew from MCS Books sent me, and I'm so grateful. I think this is sort of a historical fiction retelling of like Bram Stoker and kind of that gothic feeling, and I know that Oscar Wilde is also a character in this, which is one of the reasons Matthew thought I would enjoy it, and I'm really excited about this. And the reason I'm like not 100% sure about this book is because I don't know how prominent of a role Oscar Wilde is going to play, but he was a gay man, and that would definitely count for this readathon if he does feature prominently in this book. If not, I'll have to find something else, but I am at the moment counting this for the historical fiction prompt, and I'm just so excited to get to this. Next I have Blanca y Roja by Anna Marie McLemore, and this counts for the challenges Own Voices, Person of Color, Author, and Main Character, and a main character on the trans spectrum. And I don't know the details for that last challenge. I don't know which of the characters is trans, but I have heard that that is present in this book. I have read 2 books by her and really enjoyed both of them, and I want to read more things from her. This is also on my retellings that I want to read during this year for that challenge, and this is a retelling of what's the fairy tale called? I don't remember, but I think it's the one about 2 sisters and one of them is doomed to turn into a swan. But I just think this is going to be a beautiful exploration of family and identity and love. And then finally I have The 100 Nights of Hero by Isabel Greenberg. This is a graphic novel retelling of 1001 Nights, but it's a female-female romance, and I'm counting this one as the book recommendation because Yvette from Book Cave, who is one of the hosts, she featured this in her recommendations video, and she also talks about this graphic novel quite a bit on her channel, so I'm counting this as a recommendation from her. I'm really excited to be getting to this. I think I'm going to really love it. Okay everybody, so that is my kind of chatty mashup of a reading plans video. I'm just really excited about all of these, and even though I might not get to all of the books that I have picked out for all of these, like that's okay. The really great thing about these readathons, especially the ones that focus on representation and diversity in literature, the great thing about them is that if you even pick up one thing, you're contributing to it, you know, you're focusing on that in your reading and you're bringing those voices to the forefront, and I think that's really wonderful. And I think there's sometimes a tendency, even for me who really enjoys readathons and participates in a lot of them, I think there's this tendency to think that if you can't win the readathon, you shouldn't even try. Or if you do participate and you don't hit all the challenges, then you shouldn't have tried. And that's just not true. And that's something that a lot of times the hosts really emphasize that as well, which I think is so great. So anyway, those are the things that I am hoping to get to over the next couple of months. I thought I would just talk about them all together because a lot of these overlap, and I like having options. I like bouncing around between challenges and books and genres. So let me know if you guys are participating in any of these readathons. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon with another video, and I hope you love the next book you read. Bye!